Looks like we had a lot of scrimmaging today. Yeah. How did that go, and what stood out to you?
What stood out was it was way better than yesterday. I could tell the guys had good juice, so we tried to get through stuff quickly without rushing, if that makes sense, because you have to get detailed stuff in. But then we got live, 3 different segments. It was super competitive, and we got the 2 groups kind of aligned together, so a ton of positives. Russ was really good today. And it's a good experience for our starters, a guy that gets downhill like that. Defensively, we're going to see guys like that throughout the year. So good experience all the way through, and guys sustain their energy, which sometimes is tough as you're working your way to, yes, preseason games, but OKC down the road. So really positive day.
What did you say is like a stylistic change for this team based on the personnel or even just the growth from last year, compared to last year?
He's different with his pace. I think stylistically, you want to add things and be creative, but you also want to remember why you've won so much. So trying to fine-tune what you've always been good at is what's most important, and then try things out right now and see if there's wrinkles or things we can add. There's multiple things. Can we get Jamal in the post more? Can we use Christian as a ball handler, get Jamal off the ball? How many more ways can we use Nicola as a lead ball handler? So all those things come into play. So it's a try-it-out stage right now. It's not the real thing yet, so stay creative for yourself, stay creative for the players.
Coach, I know we're about to talk to Peyton Watson.
That sucks.
I'm just kidding. Horrible. Where has he been at over the course of these last few weeks? I know you said that he practiced yesterday. Is it difficult incorporating somebody into what you're doing unless they're getting live reps at training camp?
It is difficult, and I feel for him, and he's told me how frustrated he is. And it's not just the fact he's not playing, it's the fact that he wants to compete against his teammates as we're trying to find guys, what kind of minutes they're going to play, where they at in the rotation. It's unfair to him, more so than it's unfair to us, to decide what his role is going to be, how he fits. So I know he's dying to get back on the court. Like I said yesterday, those injuries, they're so tedious, and they kind of hang on to you. And he's got to get his confidence back to show some burst, which he did yesterday. So I feel for Pate, just like I feel for anybody right now that's part of a rotation around the NBA and doesn't get the chance to prove how they fit in. So he's frustrated, but you guys know Pate. He has such a great personality. He'll bounce back.
You guys had conversations on how you want to handle the final preseason games in terms of, do you want to extend the starters? Do you want to get them a game off somewhere along the way? Or any feel for how you guys are going to handle that?
Yeah, we've had, small conversations. It's kind of a weird schedule. Because of the Abu Dhabi trip, and now they've moved our Minnesota game up. So you're going, I believe it's Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, which is really not the way you want to schedule the preseason. So somewhere in there, we're going to have to give guys a break. But then the flip side of that is what you said, then we're off even longer to the OKC game, so the main guys have to play. So there's been conversations, nothing confirmed. Obviously, when Coach gets back, he'll make the final decision. But we have to be smart, and we also have to be diligent with making sure we're ready to go. So we'll have those conversations.
It's maybe an unfair question, but how do you report back to Malone on a practice like this? What are the top line things you would bring to him?
What we did, obviously, is the film. You can watch it. Sometimes when you watch the film, though, you can't really feel what was out here. So mostly just how engaged guys were, where they're at. This is a mental battle, our sport, because it's just every single day, and it goes on and on and on, hopefully to June. So guys, where they're at mentally changes a lot, and you have to kind of maintenance people throughout. Same with the coaching staff, same with everybody. So those kind of things, I think, are what he's most interested in. But no, he's been good. He's been supportive. Obviously, he had ideas for what we could do in practice today. We incorporated those, so he'll be back soon.
How hard is it to balance the idea of, hey, this is going to be 7 months, we want to pace ourselves, versus we also want guys to be mentally tough, and fatigue is part of that. How do you balance that this year?
I think you have to trust your medical staff. This is a partnership, and if we take the guys to an extreme and they tell us, hey, it might be time to take it back a step, you have to do that. But this is professional sports, and mental fatigue is part of it, like you said, and you have to make that part of your routine as you go into the season. Obviously, as the year goes on, it becomes even tougher. So right now, those habits that you form in preseason, they're going to take you to the end of the year.
Can you share some examples of Russ and his energy and lifting his teammates up? Because I feel like we've talked so much about his pace and what he brings, but what does that look like?
I think with his team today, when they call timeouts, he is the vocal leader in that group. We have a lot of young guys in that group, so it's always good to hear a positive voice from somebody that's been around for a long time. And then we have that with a lot of our veteran guys, and it's important. The young guys are trying to feel everything out, and, they haven't really developed their leadership voice yet, and I think that's what stands out the most. And then just his overall energy, even in the small things that he does. Doesn't mean he always does everything right, but he's doing them hard, and that's a great example to set for everybody else.